Real Dad Talk, episode 75, Fatherhood.
Welcome, everyone. Chris B here along with Rob K. What's going on, Rob?
Chris, I'm doing great. March Madness
It
just
is
started.
madness.
I'm looking for these upsets in the NCAA.
We had one today.
Let's see what happens because there's going to be more. But
We will.
we have a special guest this evening. Tone, how are you, brother?
What's up, fellas? Good to be here,
What's
man.
up, T?
Yeah, what's up with it?
Welcome to Real Dad Talk.
Yeah,
And
speaking of March, man, Pisces season. I'm
Ah,
I'm a Pisces
what's
baby,
what's your
so
birthday? My mom's a Pisces.
March 2nd.
Oh,
oh,
so that's my aunt's birthday.
All
My
right,
mom
okay,
is March 9, so that's seven
okay.
days. Then my
Biggie's death
sister's
date.
March 16, another
Okay,
7 days. So I'm
it's a
Pisces
busy
out,
month
dude.
for you.
yeah, my
Right,
older
I'm
brother is
swimming with the fishes.
right.
my older brother's March
Forget
1st.
about it. March 1st.
Yeah, March
Okay,
1st. So yeah, I can't
yeah.
forget it. That's the one date I cannot forget. What's your older brother's birthday? I don't remember my parents' birthdays, but my older brother's birthday, March 1st, I always remember.
Hey, if mom and dad are
Oh, yeah.
watching this, they're not going to be very happy.
Listen, either way, they're not gonna be happy about it. Tone, I want to get to the hardest question of all, or the easiest question of all. What's your dad stats?
Two boys, 14 and 11. And then
Wow.
I also, contribute to some parenting with my girlfriend's 5-year-old son. So got my hands
Oh,
full a little bit.
So you have teenagers and you have under
Yeah,
10 years old.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hold on,
Awesome.
hold on. I'm going to get right to it because we've had the stepfather, we've
Okay.
had the absent father on the show
Yeah.
before, and
Okay.
you used the word that I'm just going to dive into. You said you contribute,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
contribute. You don't parent, you contribute.
Right.
So
Because he
so
has a
so
father
get
that's
at
present.
get at us with that. Talk to us about that.
I mean, it's I was a step kid and I'm a product of a broken home, five parents, five parents growing up, two households. Um, my mom divorced and got remarried, so you get tidbits from everyone around you, but
Sure.
they say it takes a village, but when you're in a situation now with America's current situation where divorce is just as normal as marriage, where you have all these mixed households, but in order to get there, first is the dating stage. So then your person you're dating may have a child with somebody that's, not all dads are absentee fathers, so
I
the
agree.
relationship doesn't work out. So I'm dealing with in my own situation with my ex-wife and her new man, so and that makes it easier for me to handle situations with my girlfriend and her kids, knowing that, look, the dad's still present. I'm not trying to replace him, just like I don't want this man to try to replace me with my son. So yeah, you do just like anyone else with an adult's in the room. The adult contributes to, you know, laying the ground rules and creating the threshold for that child. So it's like, and as days go on, I mean, we've been together 3 years now. So I've been around more than half his life. So he sees me as some sort of parental figure. But just to be
Sure.
fair and not take someone else's thunder, contributing is the best word I would say I use because I
Bravo. And,
mean,
and and it really was. It really was.
yeah,
Rob, you remember our other shows where there's been conflict when there is going to be a mixed family and there's a lot of conflict between the parenting styles, right?
yeah,
Where one might come at you and be like, dude, that's you got your kids, I got my kids. And if we're going to talk about how we can raise these children together, we got to figure out what we agree on and what we agree to disagree on.
right.
So have there been any of those times where your parenting style might be different than that of your girlfriend? Let's not call her girlfriend. What's her name?
Leah.
Leah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So have you guys
Uh,
had different parenting styles that you
you
guys have
know,
had to?
not really, man, because of, I mean, my boys are really well behaved, really good kids. So it's not hard to see even, you know, the what's understood doesn't need to be explained. So it's like it's she trusts my methods because she sees the outcome, you
That's
know. So
awesome.
it's, and plus being 20 years her senior, I'm in an age gap relationship. So being 20 years her senior, it's in terms of parenting, we have similar styles, but um she defers to me in situations where she knows that, you know, sometimes it's hard for a woman to raise a boy, and sometimes you need, you know, if the man is available, or if a man is available, he gives insight and gives, you know, that other side, you know, the other side that you kind of need sometimes in a household where, you know, there's a mom raising a boy. Because I know I walked all over my mom, or at least tried to, knowing that there was no man around to stop me, you know, and that can get out of hand, and you know, the outcome can end up being pretty bad if it doesn't get, you know, under wraps pretty quick.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I
Rob,
think
go for it.
I think it's one of those things, just you know, as new school versus old school, which we always go back and forth. Um, Old school methods tend to work out better, but you know, us new school parents tend to go the opposite way because we
Yeah.
believe that, you know, something went off or something went was different. Um, are there ways that we raise our kids that you think the old school was a little bit better than the new school?
I mean, being a Generation Xer, man, I can see both sides. I definitely think the boomer era was really out of touch, because a lot of the emotions that were necessary to feel and be explained, and those were opportunities to be communicative about it, were lost. And so now, as we grew up, we try to develop methods with our own kids that with a blueprint we didn't have. So it sometimes gets out of whack trying to combine what we were taught by the old schoolers, but with a touch of what we knew would work with us. So we try to indulge in that with our kids, but there really is no case study, you know, for it. So it's like it's trial and error. So I mean, I like new school because we're more in touch with our emotions rather than, you know, bootstrap type tactics and ignore that
Bravo.
bullshit, you know.
So here's something that we always talk about, and it seems like your emotional high QT is very high. Um, it wasn't common for men, for fathers to
Mm,
express affection, emotion,
right.
love, right? It was always like tough love, that
Oh yeah.
type of stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of strength in sharing affection and expressing emotion,
Yeah.
where you know you can, and this is in my minimal experience with my 6 and 7 year old. You know, you may want to discipline with with an approach that they may not be receptive to,
Yeah.
but then when they feel that affection, that emotion, that love, they might be a little bit forgiving when you are stern with them and say, okay, well, I can balance this tough love with this actual affection where my dad
Yeah.
walks up to me, says, I love you, tucks me in, gives me a hug, and
I
it's
mean,
okay.
the thing is we're creating their norm. There's no, they have no
Right,
contrast for that. So it's not like we're trying to work against another something else that's infiltrating. Whatever we give them is what the structure and the foundation is. And it's like sometimes that we get worried about, oh, I didn't like the reaction from him. I want to feel love from him 100% of the time. I don't like, just like they don't want to see disappointment on our face. We hate to see
right.
disappointment on our children's face, but their future supersedes what's comfortable in
Sure.
the moment, you know. So
100%. So when
yeah.
we, so for example, when one of the girls says something, and in my mind, it's a trigger where I'm like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. Or why did
Mhm.
you say that?
Right.
Here's the thing, she's coming from an untainted, inexperienced, pure perspective, right?
Hmm.
I'm the one who's tainted. I'm the one who's lived the life as long as I've lived. So when
Yeah.
that's coming at my ear, I'm hearing it differently. And she's
R-
just being silly, for
Man.
example, right?
Yeah. It's crazy because I deal with that. I deal with that in, hold on a second. Sorry about that. I deal with that even in my relationship where it's like, you know, there's a prowess we develop through time that you only get with experience and time passing. So trying to get somebody to understand that prowess that you developed and get and shove it into their minimal understanding. It's virtually, it's insanity, yet we still try. And at the end you realize only patience is what works for that.
For
It's
sure.
strictly, there is no workaround. you know you want youth is wasted on the young, because you try to get, even if you have the sports almanac, you go back and it's still messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's like something happens no matter
Rob, what
what.
do we
There's no
always say? There's no what?
Oh, there's no what? Hold on.
There's no handbook.
Oh, there. Well, I told you I have the handbook, bro. I have, but
Wow.
I fail to read between the lines. That's my problem.
mm,
Uh, Overall, you know, uh, the other day I was talking with my father-in-law, and we were kind of talking about raising kids and how to, even adults, how they truly understand. Most people understand through their mistakes. They make a mistake and they learn through that. They're like, I'm not going to make that mistake again, hopefully. So with kids, it's just like we sound like a broken record constantly. Hey, do this, do that, do this. And of course, my son and my daughter just go, I know, I know, I know. So compared to the old school generation, compared to new school, um, how do we make them understand any of this without, I don't want them to feel the pain or feel the get burnt, at all. I want
You
them
should
to,
get burned.
no, I don't think so. I think there's ways
You
to,
got burned. That's
I
why
got
you got
burnt, but
character.
listen, I got burnt, but I don't want my kids to get burnt. Is there an effective way, efficient way? Listen, this new generation totally different. They're a lot softer than us.
yeah, wait.
They don't handle the pressure like we did when we were kids. So I'm not trying to like keep them away from the world, but I
You
do.
are. You're saying I don't want them to feel that pain.
But it's inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Correct.
you're only you're in my opinion, you only um handicap them by trying to block it for too long. It's like the sooner they get it, the more well equipped they'll be for your departure. The longer you stave it off, the less equipped they will be. But you don't know when your time is gone. You have to shove as much as you can with the time you got, with good energy, good information, good whatever. I mean, you can only be their friend for so long, and that's usually when they're 1 through 4. Then you start slapping them on their hands, yelling at them, stern voices where they turn to you and start crying because they've never heard that before. But now it's time. We passed that phase.
Yeah.
Now we're on to now I got to show you about the world. I'm sorry, it's gonna suck, but this is what it is.
Yeah. I love
But
it.
it's kind of it's tough. Even, you know, uh, like I said, my dad was old school to the max. I don't think
Right.
I didn't get to know him until I was 23, 24.
So
Um,
you say I love you in hugs every day, right?
when I was growing up,
He
no.
does.
No, for your
Oh,
kids
No,
me,
now.
you
yeah,
do
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Now,
Now I
right.
do. Now I
Right.
do.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. It's like you overdo compensate for the lack of what you had growing up.
So that's where I feel like it's like the mistake of my generation or myself for,
Mm.
like I said, for example, we talked about this on previous episodes. Like I spoil my kids with Jordans, which is the stupidest thing, or sneakers, whatever it is.
Because that's your
Mm.
addiction.
Yeah, no, no, the difference is this. I didn't get to have that growing up. I had to work for it.
No, but you
I
have it
want
now.
If I wanted it, I got a part-time job and I paid for it myself to get a pair of
Yeah, we
Jordans.
worked at Foot Locker.
Or yes,
Mhm.
but my thing is, we try to make it easier on our kids, but it's almost hampering them more.
No, it's counterproductive for sure, but there's a balance to it though. You know what I'm saying? Like for my kids, because I didn't overcompensate as far as financially with showering them with gifts. But whenever I do get them something, it's the best of it. And I make sure they understand that, you know,
It's a
my effort is
treat.
to
It's a
make sure you have
reward.
right, that you have the best. Now I'm in the era of making them start doing chores and getting money for it and stuff, like learning the value, the old school shit. That's
Okay.
little, now those are sprinkles of old school, while I'm saying I love you, son, and hug you after I give you some game and tell you about yourself, about something you thought you were doing that was correct. And I needed to bring you back in and reel you back in and show you some reality, because I'm big on giving, and their mother too, we're big on giving them freedom of choice. you know, and we'll let it ride until the outcome starts to show its ugly face, and then we'll say, okay, so you see the choice you made, you see the outcome of this. This is why I'm about to take over the reins for this thing right here, you know. And then the next thing, same thing, you know. I give you, I think it's good to give them the options that are available to them rather than choosing for them too
Oh,
late in life, you know.
100%. 100%.
It's like,
It's like, I don't mind you falling down and scraping your knee, but I'm going to make
right.
sure you don't fall down and crack your, ankle.
Right. But I'm not going to baby to the point that when you finally go out there and scrape your knee at 25, you're not moaning out in pain in front of your coworkers. Like, what the hell was that? I've never scraped my knee before. Like, bruh, you know.
You take it, smack the head against the wall and be like,
I
oh,
mean,
that's what it is.
like I said, there's a balance, man, and it's like you said, this new era is very, very soft because that's enabled by the cancel culture movement everywhere. You know, it's like it's all the different uh cliques that were bullied finally became in power now. And they're getting back at all those that were obstacles, you know, in their, you know, infancy. And
Yeah,
so
trying
I
to flip
mean,
the script.
and it's been flipped, you know. And but it's everybody gets their shot, you know what I'm saying? It's like it might be 4 or 5 thousand years before certain ones get their shot, but everyone gets a turn,
Yeah.
you know.
So we talked about this and that. What are you up to? Tell the audience what you're up to these days.
Well, social media has been good to me lately. So I've been at 45 learning how to circumnavigate that, you know, while still, you know, staying true to myself as a man, you know. And that's a slippery slope, being entertaining on social media while still, you know, uh, achieving, you know, respect amongst your peers, you know. And I think I've done a pretty fairly well with that, you know. But it's opened up some doors for me with different opportunities. And I'm lead singing for a classic rock band, believe it or not, that's
Okay.
preparing for a show on the strip, or run on the strip. That's called The Time Machine. I put that up in some of my social medias, you know, just alluding to it and showing some hints of that. But and also I'm a recording engineer, so I record a lot of rappers and singers, you know. But social media is my main thing right now, and being a dad, and you know, uh, I have shared custody with my kid, you know, with my ex-wife, so it's week on, week off. So which allows me those free, you know, each week I have dedicated time to my kids and school
100%.
pickups, drop-offs, all that stuff. And then during the weeks where I don't have them, I can work on, you know, the stuff that I have free time to do, man. It's a pretty good setup. You know, there is there is life after divorce and a family breakup. But you have to muster through that book that there's a deep hole you have to climb out of as a man, you know, from the male perspective side, because there's so much damage done in a divorce to your constitution. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
it's you question everything about yourself. Do you even still have what it takes? So it's, you know, this last couple of years have shown me that, you know, I have what it takes to still have life after, you know, the breakup.
sure. So
Yeah, man.
so let the crowd hear your recent interactions with Warren G have been.
Oh yeah, you know what? My son and I did a reel, you know, and it sucks because he doesn't really care for doing the reels too much. You know, he's like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm like, man, I'm telling you, you're perfect, kid. But his very first one we did, I think it's at a couple mil now, but the first week of doing, we did regulators, and we did something like when your dad only listens to 90s rap. And
Oh,
uh my other son was
I'm
holding the
guilty.
camera, and right. But our kids are like, bro, what is this? You know, but when they're young enough, they enjoy it. But uh we just did this one, and Warren G reposted, and it did a lot of numbers, man. And after that, man, it's just been a windfall of good opportunities with doing reels and artists reposting and showing love, man. It's been pretty cool.
I, I
Blessings on blessings.
I love, I mean, I love your Instagram page, but that video itself made me think of my son and myself in the car ride, because whenever we play music, of course, I'm old school music, you know, from Nas to Biggie to Pac, uh,
Yeah,
to AZ. It doesn't matter who it is, old school. Uh, and the other day, it was the funniest thing where um, my son was like, "What's that Nas song with his father?" And I was like, "What song?" It's Bridging the Gap. And he was like, and he wanted to know about the song. He's like, "Why is his father talking about that or Nas is saying that he traveled, his father traveled but came back home?" And so it's really cool because this generation of the youngins that really don't listen to, I mean, I'm not going to say anything about rap this day and age. My mom said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But
Right.
you know, rap music in the 90s, 80s was the best thing. So now I have my children, both my son and daughter, ask me questions now. And like when he was talking about that Nas song, Bridging the Gap, and I actually talked about his father's role in that song and what it's all about, it felt good. Like it felt good to educate him. And also,
Yeah.
you know, he will probably go and tell one of his friends, and then his like it, I'm thinking the culture is not going to die because as long as we keep on pushing the
Uh-huh.
culture forward and keep on saying
Yeah.
this is what
It
it's
won't
about.
die if you keep it up. Right. So
So, like I
we're
said, it's
sorry, go on.
it's a beautiful thing where music has such a key component in kids with us, our health. So yeah, like it's very uplifting. You know, when you put, you know, when you sing to the old school tracks, Chris and I,
Yeah.
that's what we do on our show. Well,
So here's what happened it was this morning or yesterday. Either this morning or yesterday when it's finally like nice and warm. And then Nina, my little one, says, "Papa, it's almost like summer." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Can you play summertime?" I was like, "Yeah." So we put on Jazzy Jeff
Yeah.
on the Fresh
I love that
Prince,
song. That
and
beat is so
she's
hard.
just, oh, it really is. And thank goodness, except from reminiscent from the first girl you kissed, the
Yeah.
lyrics on that is
Right.
totally fun. And they'll just sit there and sing it and sing it. So when you were saying, Rob, that it's on us to keep it up, unless we do it, they're only going to be exposed to what's now. So, we're laying that character foundation,
I mean,
right?
yeah, they're being fed. It's being consumed differently. It's like they're taking our classics and it's being kind of reformatted for their palate. You know, it's still there,
Right.
but it's like I guess it's up to us to say, hey, you know, that's a sample from this, right? And be like, and then show
Sure.
them like the history behind it, because even the art of investigating music is dying. You know what I'm saying? Where we used to
Mm.
go, oh, who you reading the linear notes and saying who was on this track or who did that. Like that's a lost art as well, because it's like everything's gone digital and everything's fed to you in 15 and 30-second clips. You know,
yeah.
the attention span is completely dwindled, man. It's completely
Oh,
different.
zero. It's zero.
But there's a method to it. And I feel like I've figured that out in the algorithm of a way to get the medicine and the dog food in 45 to a minute and a half segments where it's been successfully, it's intervened the bloodline of what's been going on. I'm not going to single-handedly take credit for it, but I know I'm
No,
contributing
but you're
to.
smiling like you should, though.
I mean, yeah, I mean, because it's been cool to have that effect, because it was inadvertent. Really, it's just, it was just trying to show me and my girl how we live in this kind of thing. But in being in the studio for 25 years, I've developed this prowess where it's like, damn, I can use this. This is actually,
Yeah,
I
it's
can,
golden.
yeah, this is a whole new lane for me. But because the culture is so thirsty, like you said, if we don't keep it going, it will die out to where it's only in books if you go looking for it. And the kids ain't looking for shit. They're not looking for the history, bro. It's like what we're living in the moment now. So it's like this is,
And
yeah, man.
I find such I appreciate it, like with later on my son downloads this song on his phone. My daughter will download this song on her iPad, whatever it may be. So I kind of enjoy the fact that I'm kind of educating them on music and like because it's all about content. It's all about the message, right? Whatever it may be. If it's the message in music, the message in whatever it may be, it really is about the positive message, not, not bringing people down, bringing them up. So, overall, you've been in music production for a long time. Uh,
Mhm.
what would you, I mean, for your own children, I don't know what they're into. Are they into sports? Are they into, do they like the production? What you do? What do your own boys like to do?
Earlier on, before the storm, when it was, a somewhat happy home, we were in the studio, and they'd made songs as a kid, and then some of that ambition and passion and veracity of it was lost in the fire of the divorce, because it happened right around they were 6 and 3 when things
Hmm.
went, kind of thing. So that was a tough time. So that sucked for me as a father, because those were
Those
quality
are
times.
precious.
Yeah, to instill in them what it is. Oh, I want to be like dad, or I want to do what he's doing. And they're always, that I lost that part in those years. So it's like now I've gotten back the bonding part, but now I'm like dad stage now. So it's like it's not like they're hanging on to what I do and want to follow in my footsteps. They're aware of what I do, and they have the ability to do what it is I do. But that that 5, 6 year old, oh, what are you doing, dad? Oh, how does
Oh,
that? What does that work? And then if I'm being honest with myself, I think, during that's a real dark place for a man to go through, to a divorce, and even during that era, your efforts of what you give to your kids during that time is diluted by your own depression and um, your own dark place, and that was another hole to climb out. In addition to, financially and emotionally, that bond between your kids is something you have to come back from, in a divorce, because it's easy to
sure.
get sidetracked. You can't, any man that says I can give the exact same amount of effort and love and diligence to raising into my kids, and this is I would say delusional, because you have to cater to your own thoughts as well in that era, where you
Oh,
fix
it's
yourself
different.
so you can be there for your kids in the capacity you need to be, or it's just you're missing pieces.
100%. You ever come out to LA?
uh I've been out recently, doing stuff with when I have reels with, big artists, or and my merch dude is in LA too, so whenever, we meet up, but every now and then.
All right.
I mean,
Next
it's only
time you're out,
4 hours away.
next time you're out here, or next time we're up there, let's
So
get
this,
together.
Oh yeah, do y'all golf?
yeah, definitely.
We try.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, we try. It
I
definitely.
gotta be honest, keeping that stroke and that back and that legs
Yeah,
and the shoulders in
I mean,
line.
that's the fun of it, though. It's never ending quest to satiate that desire to hit a straight
But
ball.
but that thing this small has
Yeah,
so much power and control over
right.
your emotions. It's
Oh
amazing.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, man.
it comes down to, I I took my son 2 weeks ago. It comes down to patience, and he gets, like, just like me, just like all of us, we get pissed off. Like, why is it not going the right way, the direction that I
Just
want
pick
to
it up and throw it.
now. I told my son, I was like, it's about patience. Like, when you're on the golf course, it's about zen. It's about being at one with yourself. It's
All
about,
right, Phil Jackson.
no,
No,
I,
it's true though. Golf is probably the most the biggest sport that coincides with actual life. And if you follow the same procedure and the same algorithm as golf, and apply that to life, it works. It
It's
really does.
demanding,
It's
very
it's a
demanding.
game of thought. You're in your head the entire time.
so I was gonna ask you earlier on, but we got deviated by father talk.
Hmm.
Top five MCs,
Ugh.
anytime from the 70s to now. I want to hear it because I think you have some great insight on this.
It and you probably be surprised by my list, and it's because I was a slow baker as far as getting older. I like stuff that cats my age wouldn't like. Like Lil Wayne is in my top five for sure, still is. I mean, because his
Mm,
contribution, not only lyrically, but to the culture as a whole.
culture.
The entire rap game right now is 90% Lil Wayne. It's his influence. You from And I know that's a huge number, but it's true only because he created the new Michael Jackson, which is Drake, you know, and Drake is the new Michael Jackson. You can't deny it. Number wise, fan wise, he's beat his records wise. So Wayne for sure, Eminem, because it's disrespectful to not put him in that thing. It's just
Well, he broke cultural barriers too.
he did too, but just even as an MC, like I remember, and it's been a long time since I felt excited to know someone's album was coming out. And I remember the days when looking forward that Eminem was about to drop, you know, earlier on, before he started doing all the weird, you know, the weird voice, you know, the insult comic dog voice and all that weird stuff he started doing. But M is in there. Cliche, I know Tupac, obviously. Talib Kweli, who I was recently just with because I'm good friends with Tash, and Tash had an interview on his podcast. So I went and got to hang with Talib and chop it up with him about, you know, his effect on my life, because his project with DJ High Tech, what's that, the Train of Thought or whatever, the forget that, but that's in my top 3. That album was just incredible to me. So Talib Kweli and Jay-Z, man. Yeah.
That's solid.
What about Yeet?
Who?
Kanye.
Oh, you say Yee? Other Ye? Because I was
He
saying
goes
Yeet.
by
I thought you were saying Yeet. I'm like, you listen to Yeet? I'm like,
changing
okay.
it.
Yeah, because Yeet is somebody, but
He's been
yeah,
around for
yeah,
a minute.
Kanye for sure, but I was never on Kanye like that. It was never like, oh, I can't wait. It'll be my friends around me, which would, show me and I listen, but and a good friend of mine actually helped engineer on that. Dawson from out here in Vegas. And he got a Grammy on that album. So shout out to Dawson. But I wouldn't put Kanye in my top 5 only because I don't ever he didn't come to my thoughts when we just made this list just now. Like
Right.
it's got to be organic, And I'm definitely aware and conscious of all the music that's out, but as far as being an avid fan and going out and buying records because of who it was, it's been a while since I did that.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's been a long time. Especially as an engineer, you're always working on other stuff, so rarely do you have time to really indulge like you want to.
so
A lot out there. A lot out there.
for me,
Yeah,
I have
but my list is pretty old school.
no,
I love it. No, I love it.
I love your list, especially Talib Kweli, because 2004, 2003, he was on fire, because
Yeah,
it was all about the
that
message.
I think Quality came out around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then at the same time, because like Kanye was rising at that time too. So he's like
yeah, College Dropout.
all uncommon, all these guys are coming up at that time. And
Yeah,
I remember Todd Qualley, my brother was living in Philly at the time, and he was like, gotta hear this. Heard it, I was like, it's the truth, when you hear music that talks about what's going on this earth right now in real life, you're like, I feel it.
yeah.
The only one I'd say you left out is Jada Kiss, but Jada Kiss is like a acquired taste. But he's one of those guys.
Yeah, you you gotta
Then you got to get into
body of work
DMX,
is
and then you got to get to Exhibit, and then you got to
No,
get
no,
but you
no,
don't
no,
but
no,
you
no,
but
no.
you
We're
but you
not talking about that. Jada
but
Kiss,
body of work, Jadakiss has been potent with his contribution, but his body of work doesn't match up to being a top 5
yeah,
from my perspective. He's done some cool stuff, but it's like that's like putting Method Man in your top 5. It's like he's
yeah.
had some great
It's
contributions and he is
not
a
it's
factor.
not it's not a huge catalog of hits. It's like pieces.
Right, which were potent, but in that aspect, you could say Craig Mack did the same thing. Then
Yeah,
you know what I'm
sure.
saying? Like, but I mean, not saying that Jada's a Craig Mack because obviously, rest in peace, Craig Mack. But Jada, he's I think he's more influential as a celebrity,
yeah.
and for the culture than anything else.
So do your kids listen to any of your top 5? Like, do they?
Yeah, when I put it on, you know what? Because their mother's taste in music is very eclectic. I mean, from she listens to heavy metal. I think one of her favorite groups is, and I can't even remember, man. But it's like those the old school bands. Like
Def
I can't remember.
Leppard, Led
Nah,
Zeppelin.
nah, nah. Okay, that's old school for her. But
Okay.
um, Evanescence, stuff like
Okay.
that.
Oh, okay.
You know,
He said
but
that's old school.
it is.
Well, for
It
now,
definitely
You're
that,
def,
right,
that was in the
though.
no,
You're
90s.
right.
That was in
no.
the
I was
90s.
saying I was saying Def Leppard is old school,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
she's
for
like it's
sure.
more old school. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she listens to everything, so they like what she listens to as well. And we just have it's really eclectic. But my kids aren't really like music heads like that yet, man. And I hate to be responsible for contributing to the
The lack
the
of,
static. Yeah, because I mean we play music, but because of the like that divorce
yeah, you
caused
said it
this
already. Yeah.
derailment, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to get their taste and what they're really into as far as music is it's tough to like Michael Jackson. My youngest likes Michael Jackson, loves it, but I know that's not all they like listen to because then he'll be like, have you heard that new Drake? So they're all over the place too.
How old's the little one? You said 4 years old?
No, well, not that one. Well, that he likes all the new stuff. The 5-year-old, he wants to hear, like Soak City, Soak City, don't get up, they
Yeah.
left, right, hey, all that kind of stuff. And the 11-year-old likes Michael Jackson. He's still got that big afro he had in the Warren G video. My sons both have rock big afros. That's their
What's the
thing.
11-year-old's name?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. So,
Yeah.
uh, I've had the honor of being involved with the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation,
Okay.
and I believe this summer we should be holding a celebrity softball tournament.
Okay.
So TJ, Terrell, Taj, right? These are all
Uh-huh.
Michael's nephews.
Right.
If you're up for it, if you're in town, Rob is also involved. We'd love to have you and Benjamin come down, and
Okay.
we'll go to the softball tournament, and he can meet a few of the Jacksons.
Okay. Bet. Yeah.
All right,
That sound like
cool.
that sound like something to do.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Rob, you got some final thoughts? I mean, we could do this for hours.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man.
It's
Yeah.
Tone, thank you so much. This has been a great show and a lot of great insight. For us, we don't get these opportunities often as fathers to have these conversations and just
Yeah.
to give us your time and come on the show. It means a lot to us. Can you
Yeah.
please
No problem.
can you please tell the audience where they could follow you, websites, Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram is Tone Does Music, ToneDoesMusic. Everything spelled regular. Uh, TikTok is Tone Does TikTok. Facebook, you can find me at Two Tone. That's TOO Tone. And then a website, if you like, search like this,
Love that.
leahandtone.com, where you can get some Leah and Tone merch, man. But
So we
Sweet.
can
yeah,
we can buy those t-shirts, right?
oh yeah, oh yeah. And there's
Nice.
there's a couple other designs on the website,
Love
but oh
that.
yeah, and there's more stuff coming to hats and all the necessities. We just have t-shirts on there at the moment, but
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Tone, for coming on the show.
I appreciate you having me, man. Good talking to you.
Take it easy, brother. We'll reach out. We'll either see you in Vegas or we'll see you in LA.
All right, fellas.
All right, man.
You
All
have a
right
great
now.
night.
Hey, you too.
Late.
To all our listeners out there, please check out realdadtalk.com. Also on Twitter and Instagram at The Real Dad Talk. And lastly, check us out on Facebook and YouTube, Real Dad Talk. We'll see you next time. Real Dad Talk.